I, Eric Ogola, MP Kisumu Central, am supporting fully the candidacy of Raila Odinga for AUC chairmanship, because Raila has been on the forefront in supporting technological advancement in Africa. For that purpose, Raila has contributed towards my knowledge acquisition. And recently, Raila bought for me this particular book called Fluid Mechanics. Through this fluid mechanics, Africa is going to space in 2028. Because with these particular books, this book is very, very expensive and has been written by many, many scholars who are well advanced and have that advanced knowledge in space science. With this book written by Professor Emeritus from the University of Nevada, because with these particular books, we are going to acquire knowledge on how to do orbital insertion and also aerodynamic pressures that is acting on the space vehicle. Whether it's at max Q, where there will be maximum aerodynamic pressure that will be acting on a space vehicle, where the static ambient pressure balances that of the dynamic pressure. So with this, we are purely going to space. And Raila has been in the forefront in supporting this knowledge acquisition. We are going to obtain the much advanced systems and also going to cooperate with other corporations to make sure that we, as the African people, have that opportunity even to go to the lower earth orbits. Maybe you're doing the lower earth orbit, maybe orbital insertion in the lower earth orbits. And again, other than that, Raila Odinga bought for me this book, Orbital Mechanics. And with this orbital mechanics, we are going to purely launch spacecraft in both the lower Earth orbit and also even in the geostationary orbit. This book is very important, and I thank Raila Odinga for buying for me this book, because Raila is very, very proactive individual, visionary individual, pragmatic and progressive individual. With this particular book, we have to do space insertion or the orbital insertion. And we are also going to develop our ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, to defense our aerospace, and also in our space system from maybe inferior and other countries that are trying to invade our space. And also with this orbital mechanics, there is going to be pure orbital rendezvous, where we are going to have a cloud of satellites, whether in the low Earth orbit, whether in the geostationary orbit. And with that, we are going to have an advanced plan on how we are going to land in the moon in 2028. And also, we are planning on how we are going to land to Mars in 2030. Because with that, Raila also bought for me this book, a preliminary stage of spaceflight system, where this was basically talking about the Cessna, how pilots make the air pilots maybe go through their normal training, like the Cessna aircraft, the small aircraft. From this, you are going to advance into maybe advanced aircraft of twin jet engine. This is basically like a turboprop or the piston engine. But now we are going to advanced aircraft like the twin engine, like the PW 500G and also the 51 F1G engines. So with this, Raila has been very, very proactive and visionary. And having voted for me this book, I've been going through it and also training other students with this. And Raila Odinga initiated the process on how Algeria are going to acquire new jet fighter to defend their airspace from invasion of other forces that are not supporting the advancement of Africa. With that, initiated the process of acquisition of Sukhoi 57, a twin-engine multi-role stealth fighter from Russia. With that, we are also going to be in a position to reverse engineer the system and get innate processes on how to develop advanced fighter systems and faster aircraft. because that one has the capacity to do electronic countermeasure, and also it can track different enemy fighters and launch multifaceted missiles to counter the enemy aircraft fighters. So with this, with Raila at AU seat, Raila is going to help us acquire advanced air defense system. Advanced air defense system where we'll be having, it is multifaceted air defense system where we'll be having the battery system on this system, the tracking system, and the launch system where we'll be having the medium range and also the long range air defense missiles. Because we as the people of Africa, we are going to acquire knowledge on how to even to develop the quantum radar, which is absolutely different from the conventional radar which has been used before. We can even be in a position to track the stealth aircraft system that may be in a position to invade our airspace. So I purely support Raila's candidate because Raila as an engineer purely understands the advancement in the technological field as opposed to other crooks, those who don't have a track record in the advancement of technology in Africa. Baba is the only individual and the only candidate in this election who has a pure track record in terms of technological advancement and is futuristic individual who knows the trajectory of the future in terms of how things are going to change in the future. But if you look at the Djibouti candidate, a person who has served a tyrannical, a dictatorial, and a repressive regime, the only position he has ever served in is that of a foreign minister. And he has only negotiated a peace which was not successful in Somaliland and Somalia. But when Raila is a multifaceted, holistic, and also an individual who can multitask in all fields, Raila is a reborn of Kwame Nkrumah. I see a reborn of the spirit of Mandela in Raila. I see a reborn of the spirit of our forefathers who established our nations in Africa. So with this, Raila is the best candidate to serve the interests of Africa, and also is going to work on modalities on how we are going to acquire also to import new technologies from advanced countries, and also such technologies are going to impact African deep into the future.